What is good, guys? Looks like we are already live. So we are on another day, and so it's another day of backtesting. Today it's 11th June 2025, and it's day 48 backtesting until I'm profitable. So as you all know, backtesting ICD strategies. So we'll see how we can make money in the markets. So enough of the talk. On the channel for today, I don't have much, but I took another L. It wasn't the silver bullet, and it was on Euro GBP. So I entered it, went into profit for some time, and then it reversed and took me out. Yeah, it went into profit like 1 to 1.7, and then it went all the way back. So not a bad trade, just unfavorable market conditions, if I can say so. So let's just get right into backtesting session. So I'm backtesting basically. Okay, I named it the Judas swing, but it's the PO3 if you can save it, because I first like want to see how the Asian range plays out, and see if I can trade the Judas manipulation of London, and then go push higher in sorry, not push higher, but now reverse to the actual direction during New York session. So without delay, let's get into it. Okay, so let's go. So let's remove the drawings. Good. Now I'll go to the first weekly time frame, do a simple top down. It's EU in the 1 week time frame, and you can see that this week is really going crazy. You can see this big push to the upside. But we basically did a POS right here, and which confirms us that yeah, this week's bullish, and the next run liquidity will probably be something like this high if we don't react to this order block. So yeah, this high will be our next round liquidity. So we have a bullish sentiment on the weekly. Then on the daily time frame, you can see that well, let me mark that liquidity level on the day on the weekly. Sorry. So this is it right here. This is the weekly liquidity. Then we go to the daily. Sorry. And then we go to the daily. The daily, you can see that we hit some levels and then pushed higher, such as this order block, this nice one. But let's just mark it for context, but we don't think market will retrace back to it. We have this order block that pushed higher, daily OB, and I think I can change the color. But this one doesn't look really nice. Let's use a red. No, maybe something like blue. Okay, now let's go now to the. Consider we have another order block right here, small one on the daily. From this downwards, from this corrective move, it's another daily order block. Now I'll go to the 2 hour. First off, you can see that it's 15, so I just really would like to go to the next day open, which is right here at 1. I made my next day open at 1 because I want to see the whole session and how it plays out. So when I go to the 1 hour, when I go to the 1 hour right here, I would like to you can see that we're trying to push higher, but in small bits. So let's see how the session plays out. But before that, when we go to the 2 hour, you can see that we might have a small drop before pushing, continuing the upward push, because this is sorry, because we have this whole move, we have to rebalance and go back to OTE, first reach the consequence approachment, which is right there. So let's see how Asian plays out, and then we'll continue reacting instead of predicting. So let's use this. You can go back to the 30 minutes so you can see this indicator. Good. Oops, this was way too fast. Way too fast. But what we can see, even though we didn't get an opportunity to take an entry, but the 5 minute has it all. So first off, you can see that we had this session ranging in here, then we dropped a bit, created equal lows, like a good liquidity level. We push high, taking out this high right there. Then we create a break of structure right here, which shows that we're about to have some kind of continuation. We trace below into it. And then by the start of the silver bullet, you can see that we push higher and create another a good fair value gap as a sign of continuing to push to the upside, which means here would have been a really good entry to buy like this, where our stop loss and take profit will be placed. Entry right there, stop loss right here, and the take profit will be 1 to 2. But I don't think it was hit for the day. It would happen most likely like what happened to me today. So we drop and then we go into TP for some time and then hit stop loss. So which means this one would basically be some kind of BE. Yeah. Anyways, so let's go to the next day since this day has already played out. But regarding the higher time frame, you can see that we are starting to push below a little bit. And when you look on the daily time frame, it looks like we're about to have a rebalancing move into these zones right here, because the OTE from here to here shows that the midpoint is right there. So when we go to the 2 hour now, I would like to go to the 2 hour. Don't see anything large, so you can see that we took out this high, then we try to drop, so go to the next day open. So we're still pushing high. I'm going to go to the 30 minute, 5 minute. So you can see that we have this Asian movement. We took it out, and if this candle closes below here, then that will be a shift, showing that maybe the Judas swing would like to be bearish. Let's see. You can see the candle closed right below, and I think London session is about to start if it hasn't started yet. But you can see that we had Asian highs taken out, good draw on liquidity. They are actually equal highs right here, and we can mark a good sweep of liquidity right here. Sweep, and after that you can see that we shifted right here, and this was a fair value gap we traced through right here. But I would like to see a full retracement instead. Okay, you can see that we even dropped further and then we traced back, but I want maybe to see okay, something like this, and you can see London is about to come in. I see we reached also the midpoint of this fair value gap, which means my entry would basically be somewhere there. And let's see, if this is the midpoint, then that would be ready to enter from this high to this low. You can see we've already reached premium, which means we can be ready for some sells. So my entry will be a sell, stop loss will be just on that high. My first target will be these Asian lows, which will give me a 1 to 2 R. Let's take this trade now. So I'll be risking 1%. Then I will save that. Okay, good. Now let's play it in slow-mo and see the candles print slowly by slowly. So you can see we end up getting stopped out. It's just part of the process. Every time we get every day almost. So it's not something big. So you can see that London now starts to push higher after taking out this low. Means the Judas swing is about to happen in here. So remove this slider. So you can see that we have this low now taken out, and this was the drawn liquidity. So let's see, did London provide an opportunity? If we find silver bullet giving an opportunity here, we can also enter off of it. So you get a small retracement to the downside. So I would like to see maybe somewhere here well, this fair value gap was already tapped into, which means we can also enter off of this one as well. But that then means that we would have a really large Judas swing before the drop. So let's see, we took out this low, but with respect to this OB, if it's an OB, I don't know, let's look on the high time frame. You can see that we were in this kind of zone, and then we took out this low and some other lows right there. So that's how the 15 minute looks like. Then maybe let's see, from here to here, I haven't reached equilibrium yet, but I think I will still take this trade even though we haven't still dropped the equilibrium. So you can first see that we have okay, this is a small sweep, but this one's right here, these lows. You can see that this small lows here were taken out. We shifted structure right here, and maybe you might expect a full fair value gap retracement to this first one. Let's see how this goes. Okay, now you can see that we tapped into this fair value gap, which I wanted to push into. So London session hasn't ended yet, which means we can have an entry and target like a 1 to 2, which would mark the end of that day's shadow swing. So we'll take a long stop loss will be right here. Take profit will be like 1 to 2. Good. And I think that will be also mark this MSS here. I will have my market structure shift. Good. And this will be my sweep of liquidity. So now I'll buy here. Okay. I'll risk 1% as well. So let's play it now and see. Jesus Christ is Lord. Stopped out. So I guess that's enough for the day. 2 trades and we're done. But let's see how price reacts later on. So we end up dropping to these Asian lows and taking them out. Okay, New York went in crazy now. Started by taking up these highs. Okay, remove this. I think this was like some kind of news. So our drawn liquidity, since we plan to shift, would be this low right here. Actually, there are some relatively equal lows, this one and this one. So it will be our drawn liquidity. If you get a retracement, then you can enter off of that, even though it's really late to get one. Okay, you can see that we now drop into it. So I'm not going to take this trade because we've already had a loss for the day. I mean, we have to follow the rules. That's just the pre-price. If you were to target these lows, if we would get a good fill on the trade. So you can see session ends without nothing big happening again. I think it's because this maybe there was some kind of news. Let's see. So I think we had some news here, right here. That's why. Anyways, let's remove this. Remember, we still have, like we want to drop the rebalance price, which means we plan to be bearish. So let's see. First off, we have this Asian session, previous day low, right there. So we first take out the previous day low. It's about 3. We are about to reach 3 p.m. Okay, now it's 3. It's already in session, and one thing I want us to mark is right here. You can see that we shift in structure and create a fair value gap, which will be a great candidate for the silver bullet right here. And we have this shift in structure from this high, yes, which means if we get a retracement, then we can enter off of it. We didn't get any retracement. We got a retracement later, which means this wouldn't be the silver bullet. If you enter this, then that will be just because you found like an entry, so that wouldn't be silver bullet. So I think it provided the full pips today. If someone would enter off of this, that means stop loss will be right there, and I wanted to be somewhere there. No, entry here, entering on this retracement, and stop loss will be there, and you already have like 2 hour provided just at the close. So London session has ended. You can see like it's tried to protrude to the upside and then drop, which means like the move for the day might be bearish, since we're targeting to continue going lower. Let's see if we find an entry. So first off, on the 15-minute, you can see that we took out these highs from this was 330 and this one was at 2. So this is a good sweep of liquidity. And yeah, so we might expect New York to expand to the downside. So this is our sweep of liquidity. Then we go to the 5-minute. So you can see that we shifted structure right here. Let's now wait for, you can see that we are also in a good fair value gap right there. But before we mark that, we have a good MSS right there. And on the 30-minute, sorry, 30-minute, you can see that we have a good fair value gap right there. Let me remove this image so it becomes clear. So you can see that the market shift was here. So if we get a retracement here, we'll also be retracing into an inversion fair value gap. So I'd like to see a retracement into there and then proceed to drop. You can see it exactly push into it, and I think New York was also about to start. So this was what we were waiting for, retracement into this fair value gap, but it was in the 15-minute. So 15-minute would be 30 minutes, sorry. Yeah, this, you can see that we got a good retracement, even though we didn't taking this trade will be late. Let's see if we get a further retracement as well. Okay, now we get a full retracement into this one and an order block right here resisting the entry. So I think this is where I will take my entry. Do we have some news? Uh, let's see. And how does the red folders look? How do the red folders look like? Is high, mid, low, high. We don't have any a high impact. We have medium impact. Even I think we can just take this trade because it's not a red folder. Let's see a rejection. I'd like to see a rejection before we enter. 1 minute. I think we're rejecting the zone now. You can see like how these routes are looking like. I think my entry now will be there. Focus, survive the high, and I will be dropping. So I think I'll target like 1, 2, something close. So since there's news, let's let the take profit be determined. Let's see how it goes. So we're rejecting. Okay. News didn't do something big, but consider we're trying to reject that level. Market's dancing around. But you can see that we end up hitting take profit, which gave us a 2R right here, and you can also continue hold it until you take out this slope right here, which will give you like a 3.85 risk to reward. So should we hold until there? I guess we can, since it's in the range of that day as well. So if it can be achieved, you can see that we end up even taking that out. So let's close right there. Yeah, so this was highlight of the day. Good trade. And I think it will even continue lower and lower. See, it continues providing more pips. So I think that was all for that day. Let's go to next day open. You can see, you can see how good it provided this entry. Anyways, again, we'll open the sessions. You can see how this Asian session range is looking like. Let's go back to the 1 hour, sorry, 4 hour. So the 4 hour is looking bearish. Why? Because we're creating a high, and then we shifted. We closed below the recent low, and you can see we're creating lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, which means we can expect the expansion to the downside. So when we look at the 1 hour, it's basically the same thing. All we have to do now, I think, is to mark the draw on liquidity, which obviously would be this low if we don't shift and take out this high. So let's see what the London session does, and then maybe you can see if you can take a trade in the New York session. So 30 minutes, it's also the same. Let me remove these images. Okay, before that, oh great. So you can see that we have another block right there. 45 minutes, maybe it will look there. You can see that we have some series of up close candles right there, which are trying to push price lower. This from here. This is a 45-minute order block. And when I go to the 30 minute, I'll just look for something, to make us continue to expand lower, where you can see that Judah swing might, be something like targeting here. But if Judah swing drops here, then we'll push her. So let's see how London reacts basically. That's all we want. 5 minutes now. Alright. I think this is London. Yeah, London was crazy at this time. Let's see. You can see that we're respecting this orb block though, and the 15 minute is looking kind of clean. I think we can take an expansion entry to these equal lows, since we have this fair value. So you can see this FPG which is holding, and we have equal lows. So let's take read price and see how it behaves. So you can see we end up taking out the equal lows that were right there. Anyways, back to the price. You can see that I didn't expect the PO3 to get respected much, because I knew like we were targeting the downside, and you can see that we have a good sweep, shift in structure right here, and retracement into the order block, and then expansion to the downside. Let's see if we find an entry during the New York session. So we're already late, which means there's low chance. Wow, you can see how clean price is being delivered. I think this is okay. This is really okay, because we just wanted a retracement into some fair value gaps. This was the first entry. You add to your position and then continues to drop. Anyways, let's go to the next day, because this day we wouldn't be taking the entries we should take. So let's first look on the 4 hour. So you can see that I think we rebalanced. Didn't think on the daily we haven't rebalanced yet. I think this is where we should be rebalancing, and this is how it looks like. So which means this is the midpoint of this month. So maybe we might reach into discount before buying again. So I'll go back to 2 hour now. You can see we still have a journey to go. So let's maybe see if we can get an expansion to the downside during New York, and then during London we'll have like just swing to the upside, retracement to some fair value gaps or any POI, and then withdraw. So 15 minutes, we took out this highs. 5 minutes, we took out the Asian highs. Looks like London session's on. We also take out the Asian lows today. So does the 15 minute look like? We're having some wicks and wicks. We retraced into this fair value gap by a bit, as you can see right there. Maybe might expand into this daily low. And the 5 minute isn't looking quite of clean, but if we can target, the previous daily low. Wait, where is it? Yeah, this one right here. But that means you take like a one-to-one entry, something like this. Placement to a go big order block and then a drop. So let's see if this one plays out. So it doesn't fully reach to the daily previous daily low. So you can see how London closed. It dropped tremendously and then hold it. So what that maybe might show us that this level is holding and we have the tendency to push higher. Let's see how New York reacts. To take out the previous day low, and we get a shift in structure. We have no news on this Friday. The reason I called it a sweep is because we took out the previous day low right here. And when I go back to the, I'm still on the 5 minutes, sorry, which means my entry will be right there. I'll enter, stop loss will be on this low, and then I'll target like this London high. So I'll enter right there, stop loss will be right here, target London high, and I think this will be the entry of the day. Risk 1%. Let's play it in 1 minute and see. We end up hitting stop loss, didn't hit TP, but we just took out this high by a tick, which means I think we can start doing some kinds of auto break even, like when risk to reward or price. So when risk to reward becomes 1, we can move the break even to 1.5. When maybe when break even becomes 1.5, we can remove auto break even. Ooh, sorry, we took the trade. Shit, no. You didn't have to take the entry. I just wanted to create some kind of template. Anyways, next day. Okay, so back to the 4 hour. You can see that we're still dropping, even though we had this, kind of messy day right there. Now you can see how this day opened this Monday. It opened by pushing higher, which might give us like an image of how the week would look like, because we are expecting the week to be bearish and maybe also help us reach there, by which it will have to accumulate, then open high, then drop. So maybe Monday is this push to the upside. Let's see how this goes. 2 hour failed to break below this low, and now I go to the 1 hour. So there is no big thing here except for these wicks. And when I go to the 15 minute, I can see that yeah, we're persisting. These levels down here are persisting, especially this fair value gap right here, like that. And when I go to the 5 minute, you might expect or first see how the market reacts on the day. So we're about to start New York. I'm in London. London starts off, pushing to the upside as we were expecting. So our draw on liquidity will, our next draw on liquidity will be this high because you can see previous daily high was tagged out. So if you continue to the upside, I will target this high right there. And if we drop, then I'll be targeting another drop. Let's see. Okay, we get a really, really crazy drop. And then, okay, looks like no entry was provided, but you can see that we drop tremendously. 15 minutes can be a testimony. You can see how these candles are closing, but we are about to reach the midpoint, which means Monday wasn't about to provide the opportunity, but instead, play the whole move out for itself. You can see so far how this week looks. Pushes high and drops crazily. Anyways, go back to the 5 minute. Let's see how it behaves. So you can see how London looked like. We dropped really, really crazily. Sorry. So let's see what New York tells us. So we first push higher. And by the time New York opens, you can notice something right here. We took out these highs. I mean these lows, sorry. And then we can see that we shifted on these highs. We retraced to them at 9:45, which means we won't get any other retracement other than that. But we will be late to the we will be late to the entry. So we would like to target this London high, but unfortunately we can't. The nearest target will be this one because this one will obviously be hit. But let's just repeat this. I don't have a good feeling on this entry, so let's just wait and see. So it gets stopped out and then market continues. Remember, we haven't reached the target right there. So it consolidates, and for the afternoon it tries to drop. Okay, so let's go to the next day now. We have some equal lows right there. So we'll be back after this short break. Okay, so we're back, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to finish properly this day and then head off to the silver bullet and continue backtesting it. You will escape your job in 90 days, the myth, but I just want to see if I can maybe set if the silver bullet could set me free. So let's see how this goes. Anyways, let's see how it pushes. Okay, first you can see the shift. Oh yeah, yeah. This is looking somehow suspicious. So we've already reached into the, what should I call it? Yeah, we've already reached into the discount zone on the daily. Was it daily or was it weekly? Because weekly we would have something like this, but weekly as well would, would be the same thing. But in the day you consider we've already reached the discount, and what I wanted to show you is, like, do you see how, sorry, 5 minutes, do you see how clean this swing is? Like, we first took out these highs, and yeah, right here, so I learned it recently. So we first took out these highs, like how the Judah swing works, and how the Asian session, works as well, the Asian kill zone. So we have this sweep, and after that sweep you can see this move right here before this retracement, which means you can have an OTE from, this high to, from this low to this high right here, and you can see how it delivers price to this level 2 right there. So this will give you an OTE entry inside this, inside here. So before that we can also see, okay, yeah, I think that was it on the OTE levels. So if someone was to enter, then he would enter on this gap. I think I have a really small FG in there, but it wasn't respected at all. This one right there, and target the discount level we're targeting, or target this low. So that will probably give you a really big order. So stop loss will be above this high, and your target will be this low, which will give you 19 pips. Yeah, and that's what you should expect on the day. Anyways, let's continue playing it and see how New York reacts now. Okay, so we have this low taken out. uh, yeah, we shifted in structure, and the 15-minute is looking like this as well. So we'll just be observing to see how. Okay, I can open some kind of like two screens, and here it will be the 15-minute. Just want to observe it clearly. And here on the 5-minute. So this is the 15. Oh, the times on time stuff altogether. Interval, nope, 5. Okay, so you can see first off we had this sweep from here to here, and we shifted structure. And as we shifted structure, let's see how price moves to that. So it drops now. We have an inversion in here though. Let's not ignore that, because you can see how this candle's closed. So if we get a continuation or a rejection from this level right here, then we can expect to continue. Let's see. So we're rejecting by some pips. So no entry for now. And close the laptops and go. And wait, we have a really crazy drop. We get a really crazy drop later on. Oh god, this is really crazy. So I think that was all for this Judah swings. Let's go to the New York Silver Bullet on EU. So we'll go to the next Silver Bullet session. 1 and 2. So we can see that sorry, we had this accumulation and the manipulation a bit, then distribution to the upside, which means we might expect New York to play the continuation and continue pushing higher, where the 4 hour is, wait a minute, 4 hour is looking a bit bearish because of the upward push, which means I think we can also have some sells dependingly. Let's see what happens. So back to the 5 minute. Yeah, so back to the 5 minute now. Okay, good. Now just wait and see. So we get the first fair value gap in here from this low to this high. This candle. No retracement. Okay, tap into it at 1040, which means you can have an entry. Wait a minute, you can have a short entry. The moment it taps into it, and the stop loss will be right there. We'll take it 1 to 2 and take that trade. And we'll be back after another short break. Very good. Now let's finish off this session. I think stop loss has been hit. Yeah, what a crazy day, man. What a really crazy day. So no entry. And I just want to find a model I will stick on now, because this is really not favoring me at all. Okay, silver bullet. Nope. Silver bullet and silver bullet. Good. Anyways, let's see how the silver bullet looks like. London was consolidating. So we get the fair value gap. Retrace back into it. Let me use the 1 minute to see if we reject. So we don't. As you can see, we end up getting a stop out instead. Which means this silver bullet was invalid. So that day, nope. 1, 2, and 3. Sorry, I think it's one. Is it a 10? Oh, come on. Two. Hmm. But why? Why? Okay. Now I hope it's a 10. Okay. It's not bad. So we can see that we're in this drop on the 4 hour. Drop it to the come on. Using multiple screens here. Now look, using multiple screens here is a really really crazy thing. I think I'll switch back to one. Yeah. So I think this was some kind of news. Jobless claims, whatever. So silver bullet session. Um, okay. Okay. This is the time that we want. We might expect an expansion to the downside. Okay, this is our cue to enter because we had accumulation, manipulation, then we distribute to the downside. And by distributing, I think we know how the high time frame looks like. So opening the high time frame will fix out effects replay. Wait, when is auto break even? When we reach to 1.5 hour. Wait a minute. So I said two trades. Oh god, I thought I was editing. Okay, I think I'll close off one or edit both. Auto break even at 1.5. Save and this one as well. Auto break even is there. Save the second one. Wait. Okay. So it's already time and you can see that we have nothing. So I think I'll close this because random session has already ended and price wasn't moving at all. Between 10, first fair value gap, no retracement until 11. This alphabet is really, really not giving. Mm, 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 mm. This news, man, this news. Anyways, I think that was all for today's broadcasting session. It was a crazy one, just like yesterday. But yeah, we'll keep pushing and find like our edge, where our edge lies. So until we meet again tomorrow, day 49. Stay blessed and stay strong and keep